for me, I always wanted to do art and science. Got a headlamp and I have another flashlight. My name is Brandon Ballengée. I'm here in beautiful Laramie. Welcome to my Love Motel for insects. It is very site-specific and kind of community-specific. So not just about the community of insects, but the community of people. What I wanted to do is create an installation that could highlight various aspects of the terrain. The great thing about working with a beautiful historic form like this that's so sculptural anyway is trying to figure out how you can almost accentuate some of the lines and forms that are already there without taking away from the structure. So that was really what I tried to do when kind of laying everything out. So essentially what it's doing is these are big shaped canvases or sculptural reliefs that then bounce UV light, which attract insects, and then we'll have different events to have people come down and bug watch.
I think I see one. Oh, there's bugs on there.
I know, it's cool, isn't it?
The arthropods, right? The arthropods rule as far as numbers of species on this planet. What we're kind of really focusing on are the insects. So these are the six-legged. Arthropods have segmented legs. They have an exoskeleton instead of an internal backbone. And of course, they're ectothermic. So they're cold-blooded. Arthropods are attracted to a wide spectrum of UV light. Their eyes work differently. They see much more UV ultraviolet than we do. The thinking is, by having so much UV out, it's kind of like a full moon event where they cluster together. So they're attracted to that. And they're not harmed, which is the great thing. They'll come, they'll be on the sheets, and then we can come look at them and then try to ID some of them. We can see the patterns a bit more to ID the species.
Agreed that it was a tussock moth.
I think so too, yeah. These will create microhabitats for the insects to land and rest on in a place where insects can find more insects because they're attracted to the UV light. But then by having pollinator gardens, what we're doing is we're putting out plants which then supply basically food for the adults and also food for the larvae.
I am here because it's a pollinator week. You can get face paint if you want, draw a picture, or try to collect bugs. And I decided to try to draw a picture, and so I painted this. I made a huge flower with a butterfly in the middle. I collected some mayflies. I got a ladybug and some mosquitoes.
So today we had people like Kyle from the Forest Service as a partner painting yard signs to take home and put in their gardens to celebrate pollinators and art. So the Art Museum is really interested in arts and science and how they intersect. Artists learn so much from scientists, and scientists can learn a lot from artists in both their process, but their labs aren't really that different. So a scientist lab is not so different than an artist studio. And Brandon, in this case, also does what he calls trans-species happenings. So today was an extension of his art and science practice, bringing people together to celebrate pollinators and art and science in ways that marry and bring out biodiversity for all of us.
Can you tell which ones are butterflies? That cool camouflaged one?
You want to make sure that they're going to be sitting at about the same level or just slightly lower than the bed level.
Today we actually installed close to 600 plants that are mostly native species to attract different bugs to downtown Laramie.
Do you have some mussels?
Yes.
Good.
Do you need help, love, or can you get it?
Wow, there's a hard rock, I think.
Yeah,
I know, so dig down under it.
They're pieces of concrete, probably from when they were building the railroad.
It's stronger than me.
A lot of people think that bugs like mosquitoes will come out. Mosquitoes are actually attracted to body temperature and heat. So this is going to attract good bugs, like you see all sorts of mayflies out today, and moths and bees.
Before, I felt like they were creepy, but now I think they just want to pollinate and make more flowers.
Some people might get some creepy crawlies, but once they figure out what the goal of the art installation is, we hope that it'll bring about some really positive education about why pollinators are important and how they benefit all of us.
Okay, nice, that's a bumblebee.
A bumblebee?
This is an important pollinator. When you have a chance, go look at the ant colony over there. It's really like this whole idea of trying to not only educate people about the arthropods and insects that are special to this area and why they're so important to here, but also try to support those insects. There are many species we've seen already just from the past couple nights that are clean water indicators, showing you that somewhere nearby is a source of very clean water with a lot of oxygen in it. The underlying concept is trying to show people a side of biodiversity that most of them are never really aware of or haven't paid attention to before.
These are to help find small bugs and to look at the flowers close up to see if there's any bugs.
They're so important for our food and for ecosystems on this planet. I mean, upwards of 70% of our food arguably comes from some form of insect pollination somewhere down the line. So they're really key to our species and key to ecosystems all over the planet.
And we found one.
Okay, which ones?
There and there.
The insects that are bioindicators, well, they're indications, they're species that indicate a specific type of ecosystem, like fresh water, good clean water with lots of oxygen, or certain types of plants, or certain types of forests. Okay guys, you're really close to winning, but you need about 20 more bugs, I think. So you caught the most diversity, you caught the most individuals. Isn't that cool? For different reasons. So to activate the community for me often means taking young people and just members of the public out on field trips. I encourage them to just kind of look at the different species that are there. We're gonna stop in front of the Dinosaur Museum, look at the giant turkey sculpture.
This is not a turkey.
Why would I call this a turkey? Take a look at it. Does it look like a big turkey?
No.
Do its feet look like turkey feet?
No.
What do bird feet look like?
That.
T-Rexes.
Ow.
They found fossils and it looks like even they had feathers. When we're looking for birds, are we looking for dinosaurs?
Yeah.
This is a friendly competition to see which team can get the most birds. The last group, they saw 31 birds. That's a lot. Are you guys ready to go look for dino birds? Looking at all the different kind of life forms and all the amazing different plants and animals and creatures and fungus and all that different life that's surrounding us.
I see one.
As not just an artist or a scientist, but actually just by talking to people, right? So you're activating one another and you're discussing issues, and then you think through these things instead of pretending that problems don't exist. We actually try to talk about them and think about solutions that we can work on together.
So this is an emu, this is like an ostrich, and this is an Allosaurus. Decide if you have a modern bone or if you have a dinosaur bone.
Dinosaur.
Yep, that is the claw to a sauropod, which is our big apatosaur out there.
If you talk to a lot of people, they realize locally how things have disappeared, but World Wildlife Federation published a report a couple of years ago that showed we've lost about 52% of studied wildlife populations all over the world since 1970. So it's something that's happening really, really rapidly, and I hope my art poetically addresses these really complicated socio-ecological issues and hopefully also inspires people to think about it, be aware of it, but also imagine what we can do by coming together and having a pollinator festival, creating public artwork that then creates habitat for insects, and think of all the other amazing creative things we can do if we collaborate together and cooperate and talk through these ideas.
I'm a scientist because I was at Bug Boot Camp.
Bug boot camp?
Bug Boot.